Hey, thanks for stopping by. I want to talk today a little bit in depth with some data and some other information. The number one mistake that sellers are making today, okay? And do you know what that is? Most sellers come into the market with one number in mind, and it often is the one that costs them the most. What is it? Their asking price. There's so much that goes into setting your asking price, okay? Pay attention. A survey from Realtor.com shows that 8 in 10 of sellers expect to sell at or above listing price. But here's where it gets interesting. In reality, only about 4 of 10 of those sellers are getting their asking price or above. Let's break this down. What should you expect to get for your house? Well, 40% might sound low at first, but really it's not. If you look back at the last typical year for our housing market here in northern Michigan, that was in 2019. And now we are starting to see a return to what is normal. If anything, a few homeowners are able to sell above list price today compared to 2019. It only feels low because the past few years were anything but typical. I still refer to them as unicorn years, and this was between 2020 and 2022 during the what? Pandemic. Buyer demand was sky high. Interest rates were the lowest ever in recorded history, and the number of homes for sale were very low. So that's the old thing that we learned in school, right? In economics, supply and demand. Almost everything sold for asking price. Buyers were waiving inspections. Some buyers whose agents didn't really have the buyer expertise or like an ABR accreditation were actually allowing an appraisal gap guarantee. Y'all know what that meant? That meant agents were representing buyers that wanted properties so badly they were paying above the appraised value. Common sense says, what? You've just bought that house underwater. That was insanity and incredibly dumb. And I, for one, would not represent a buyer at that time that wanted to do that. Yes, I did just say that. Now, here in 2026, the market has completely shifted. There are more homes for sale, buyers have more options, and that means that they're more selective about how they spend their money. I mean, this is a huge investment they're making, right? This is one of the largest investment that anybody will make in their lifetime is the purchase of a home. So in other words, the rules have changed and people are still trying to price like it's 2020, 2021, and that's where sellers run into trouble. You have to meet the market where it's at. What happens when a price or a home is priced too high? Here's the reality. It's easy to think pricing high gives you room to negotiate, and I hear this from sellers all the time because they just don't get it. Well, Belinda, I know you said that the market value is 210, but couldn't we just start out at 225 to give us some room for negotiation? Hmm. No, not a good idea. Pricing like that has the opposite effect. When your home is priced above what a buyer expects in this market, they don't negotiate, they move on. Because buyers notice the price first, right? And if your home doesn't line up with similar options in the area, it may not even get a showing. That's when things could start to snowball. A high price gets less interest from buyers. Less interest means what? Fewer offers. And fewer offers means what? More time on the market. Your days on market go up. And as you all know, the longer a home sits on the market, buyers begin to think that there is a problem with the home. 9 times out of 10, there is not a problem with the home, other than it hit the market too high. There could be some other political influences, things that are going on in Washington, mortgage rates, but when a home is priced right and it hits the market, it should have the most activity in the first 7 to 10 days. And the most serious buyers are already set up with their agent on a selective search so that when homes reach them that are in their criteria search, they automatically go out to them. You can get an offer in the first 14 days. Okay? So you have to take a look at some data, and every state is going to be different. And of course, it holds true that across the nation things are different. And of course, when you get into the more micro markets, like for me, it's Kalkaska County, Grand Traverse, Wexford. All of those micro markets have a little bit different trends. Like Traverse City, homes are still selling and going under contract quite quickly if they are priced effectively out of the gate. Okay. But when a home sits long without an offer, a lot of sellers will do a price reduction. According to Realtor.com, over 25% of sellers are going that route today. Did you hear that? 25%. That's huge. When just 18 months ago, sellers weren't needing to do price reductions, right? That tells you a little bit more about the market shift and gearing back away from those unicorn years during the pandemic. The real problem is that even with the price cut, it doesn't guarantee a sale. In fact, some buyers will see a reduction as a sign of something wrong with the house, even when nothing is. That's why data from the National Association of Realtors shows that the longer a home sits, the bigger that price cut tends to be to attract buyers back that would have been there in the first place if it was priced correctly out of the gate. So what starts as a strategy to leave room for negotiation can end up what? Costing you more money and more time in the long run. Why pricing right from day one truly matters. Even though listing at or even just shy of market value may sound intuitive, if you're looking to get as much money for your house as possible, this really is actually the best strategy. Because the goal isn't just to list your house and see what sticks. It's to price it in a way that creates demand from day one. In other words, there's a sweet spot. Too high, buyers disappear. Too low, they question the value. But right in the middle, that's where the magic happens. You need a local trusted agent that can help you understand what buyers are actually paying right now, how your home compares to others on the market right now, and how to put the price so that it stands out immediately and in today's market. That strategy is the difference between listing high, watching it sit, and selling for less later, or pricing it right, creating competition, and putting yourself in a position to win from the very start. So the takeaway is a lot of homeowners think that they can list high, negotiate later, but that's a mistake that will cost you. This isn't even a question. It will cost you. If your agent does their due diligence, provides a broker price opinion like I do, I'm certified to do, and you want to list above, you hire the agent because they are the professionals, right? Always trust your agent. If you want to sell your home and you're not sure where to start, I am always available. I love to do one-on-one conversations. You can give me a call, 231-645-2600. We can talk about the market you're in, go over comparables. I also have a great book that I offer for free. I had it published a couple of years ago. I still have plenty, and I'm happy to send you a copy. All you have to do is send me your email address, and we can reach out that way, get your mailing address, and I'm happy to send a copy in the mail for free. It's a wonderful book. It is jam-packed with information. So, again, the takeaway today is what? Know your agent, trust your agent, and when they bring you all the data to show you where the listing price point should be to start, please go with them. There isn't room to list it higher and room for negotiation. You guys have a great day. Be blessed.